Hi, and welcome back to Animal-Based In Your Face with Scott and Pam. Today we're going to be making a low-carb casserole that is similar to a Sicilian style or Chicago style deep dish pizza. It'll be made in a casserole dish, but it will have a crust that's made out of cheese and egg mixture, no flour, no gluten, low carb. You're going to love it. Now let's get started. Okay, for our ingredients, for the base, we're going to make the crust first. You're going to need 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. You're going to need 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream, and try to get the kind that doesn't have a bunch of bad stuff in it. We're going to use 4 ounces of cream cheese softened. That's going to be half of this box because this is an 8-ounce box. We're going to use a cup of Parmesan cheese. We like this brand. It comes from Sam's. It doesn't have any bad stuff in it at all. Doesn't even have the, the mono whatever that doesn't make it stick together. It's really clean. We're also going to have 1 cup of shredded mozzarella. Now you want to use the whole milk mozzarella. It's a lot better for you than the skim milk kind. Now we're going to also use 2 more cups of mozzarella for the topping later, but just for the crust, you're going to start out with 1 cup. We're also going to have 4 eggs. We're going to have a 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic and a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Now for your toppings, after we do the crust, we're going to be using Rayo's homemade pizza. Now this is great. It's very clean. They peel the tomatoes, they boil it all down, they take all the seeds out, and what you get is a really clean, very low carb. We're going to use this whole jar. You can use half the jar if you don't like as much pizza sauce and save the other half if you're going to make another pizza pretty soon, but we just use the whole jar. This whole jar, let's see, 6 servings. You've got 2 grams of sugar, 3 grams of carbs. So there's no added sugar. The sugar comes from the tomatoes. So there's 3 grams of carbs for 6 servings, this whole jar. This is going to get you about 3 carbs per slice. And it's going to be a big square. This right here is going to make 6, or actually 9, 6. 2, 4, 6. You're going to make 6 big squares of pizza with this. 3 carbs a piece, so it's very low carb. And that's with all the cheese and everything in it. Okay, for the rest of the toppings, we're going to use clean pepperoni. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these in our little oven and just kind of bake them a little bit to get them crispy. Because when you finish off this pizza, you're just going to put it on a broil, and you're just going to kind of broil the top to melt the cheese and brown it. And we like these crispier, so we crisp them up first, put them on the pizza, and then do the broiling and melting the cheese. We're also going to use some ground beef that we already have cooked. I'm going to just sprinkle that on there, and you can use as much as you like. You can use any toppings you like. If you want to use breakfast bacon, ham, Canadian bacon, anything that you like, you can use as a topping. This is what we like. All right, let's get cooking. First of all, we need to get some butter and a silicone, and we need to grease our pan. If you don't have one of these little brushes, you can use a paper towel. But you want to grease all the sides of this dish. Now this is a really deep dish. You don't have to have one this deep. Halfway would probably be better, but it's a 9x13 Pyrex dish. You can use a 9x13 metal if you want, but you want to grease it with butter first. And then we're going to mix up our mixture in our food processor. You can use a blender if you don't have a food processor. So let's get started. We're going to take our 4 eggs. We're going to use a food processor. Like I said, you can use a blender or a hand mixer and blend all this up together. But we're going to put 4 eggs in here. And then 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. You want it to be soft. Like I said, I cut that package in half. It comes in 8 ounces. We're just going to squeeze that in there. And we're gonna blend this guy until it's smooth. Now that our mixture is smooth, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. We have 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. Pour that down in there. This is the 1/4 a cup of the shredded Parmesan. We still have the 1 cup of Parmesan over there that we're going to use for the bottom of the crust, and we'll pour this mixture over that. So you're only going to put 1/4 of the Parmesan in here. Then we've got 1/2 a teaspoon of oregano. And if you wanted to go strict carnivore, don't put the oregano in there. And 1/2 a teaspoon of minced garlic. Don't put the minced garlic in there if you're strict carnivore. And you wouldn't use the tomato sauce. And it's still going to be delicious. Now we're going to blend this until smooth. Now we're going to preheat our oven to 350. Greased with butter pan, 9x13. We're going to sprinkle the 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. And we're going to sprinkle 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. Now this is going to be for the crust, and we're fixing to add that egg mixture that we just blended with our spices. We've got our mixture blended. This is going to be the base for our crust. I just want to mention this is a Breville food processor. It is amazing. We've had it for years. It comes with a blade to do anything you would ever want to do, ever. It even comes with a little mini thing that you can put in there so you don't have to use the big bowl. You can actually just use a mini bowl. Amazing, amazing product. You just want the cheese spread out because this is going to be the crispy, chewy part. And this is your mixture, and you're just going to want to pour it. Pour it all in there. And you're going to want to scrape out every little bit. When your mixture's in there, you just want to kind of just go down and just kind of make sure everything is flat and even. Which when it starts melting in the oven, it's going to level out anyway. Now we're going to take our crust mixture, preheated oven, 350 degrees. We're going to pop it in the middle of the oven. We're going to cook for 30 minutes till it's brown. Now we've got this little Breville Smart Oven Air. We love it because it's tiny and you don't have to heat up the whole house if you don't want to. We're going to do our pepperonis. I'm just putting them in there just to kind of start heating them up, bake them just a little bit so they crisp up. We're not going to cook them for 25 minutes. We're just going to get them to their kind of starting to crisp up. All right, 30 minutes at 350 and we're done. Pull our crust out of the oven. You see you have the little bubble there in the middle. That will flatten out as it cools for just a minute. And we're gonna go get our pizza sauce and our toppings. I think they're all wanting some pizza. Y'all want some pizza? All right. Now, our crust is not quite cool, but it's already deflated. Now, I toasted those pepperonis in the oven, so we like them a little crispier. Now we've got 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, some beef. This is the Rayo's homemade pizza sauce. I believe this is the only size that it comes in, but it is a 12.3 ounce jar. You could use half of this, and it's plenty of sauce. We like really saucy pizza, so we use the whole jar. You just want to open that up, and you just want to pour it on. And I would pour it in the middle first. That way you can use a spatula and kind of spread it so you don't get the sauce all over your glass. And just spread it out. We're going to go ahead and put our oven on broil and start it. We've got our sauce spread. Now we're going to add our cheese. And you can use any cheese you like. You don't have to use just mozzarella. You can use cheddar, provolone, Swiss. You can actually, instead of doing 2 cups of mozzarella, you could do 1 cup of mozzarella and 1 cup more of the Parmesan cheese. And if you want more cheese, you can put more cheese on it. When you got your cheese all spread out, make sure it goes all the way to the edges, because that's going to give you that little chewy, crispy crust. And we'll just put our pepperonis on, and then we'll put our beef on. We'll be right back. Got our pepperonis on there. Now we're putting on some ground beef. And like I said, you can put whatever toppings you want on there, how much ever you want. This actually was a pound of ground beef, and you can see what's left. And we've already made 1 pizza with this. This is the 2nd pizza we made with this. So we're probably only using about half a pound of ground beef. There we go. We got our 2 cups of cheese in there, but I'm just going to grab a little bit extra and just sprinkle on top. Just makes it pretty and kind of locks all the ground beef together. Makes it look a little more cheesier. So I'm probably putting about another half a cup of cheese on here. We like cheese, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's not really going to add many more carbs at all. Probably even less than 1 carb. There we go. Now let's put this baby in the oven on broil. We're going to put it back in the middle, but it is on broil. And you're just going to watch it till it starts to brown on the cheese. All right, our cheese is starting to brown. Now, if you want it browner than that, you can leave it in there longer, but this is about how we like it. And you want to let it stop bubbling before you try to cut into it. All right, it's cooled about 5 minutes. It's not bubbling anymore. I'm going to cut it into 6 slices. You can cut it however you like, but if you do 6 pieces, it's going to be 3 carbs per piece. And I'll cut it and we'll get going here. You have to use a knife to get the edges because round pizza cutter, square pan. Very super thin spatula works great for this. Get this piece out here. And as you can see, it has that kind of a breadish textured, kind of bread-like consistency crust. And actually, as it gets a little cooler, you can pick it up with your hand. But delicious. I hope you enjoy this recipe on Animal Based in Your Face with Scott and Pam. Subscribe to our channel. We make delicious recipes. They're animal-based, carnivore, low carb. look us up on Facebook, Animal Base in Your Face Tribe. Join. And we really hope that you enjoy this recipe. It's delicious. It's great for meal prep. You can make it up ahead of time, freeze it, last in the refrigerator for 3 to 5 days, a freezer for a couple months. It's great reheated. We reheat this all the time. Thank you for watching.